Sorry, my dogs are coming because it's also the time for the walk.
Ah, that's good. That's good. You can also do it walking, you know, that's
Oh no, with the wind and with them, it's like I can't focus. I used to windsurf before, and then kite, and then SUP, yeah, SUP race for a few years.
so really one after the other.
Yeah, yeah, like first windsurfing, then a bit of kite, and then SUP. Like when the SUP arrived in 2012, it was like a bigger dynamic with the SUP racing. And yeah, actually it was way more simple to compete and to have also support in this sport. Like windsurfing was a bit like more down and a bit like on the not on the end, but not like in the 90s, or in the
Yeah.
2000s. Like I think in this kind of sport, like every sport has the boom,
Yeah.
like
Like the
hit,
peak.
hit
Yeah.
the peak, yeah, and then it go more like yeah. So like the beginning of SUP, it was crazy, and now the SUP like is still like going on with the SUP race and stuff. There is still a lot of events, especially in Europe. But yeah, I was lucky to be like at the good age, let's say, like at the 20s on the SUP start. Yeah.
But I mean, compared to windsurf and kiting, sorry, I don't want to again be disrespectful. Isn't something a little boring?
Absolutely. No, but the thing, like when I started, I didn't want to do racing. I didn't want to know about like like the endurance stuff. Even if before I did some race in running and bike and this kind of stuff that is not as fun as windsurfing. But actually, when you compete, the thing is like for wave and wind sport is so complicated that you spend so much time like waiting for the wave, and you never like
That's
at the
true.
end, like I know some pro surfer friends, they say in 10 years I had one event in very good condition. When you don't take part of the world championship, like the big event, like the WSL in surfing or Nazare or this kind of event that are really like insane, like most of the event of surf, and it's not that easy to organize, and you are super dependent on the condition. And windsurfing, I spent like so many years just waiting on the parking, and I
Yeah.
was like, I love this sport, but you need really to have the right condition. And sup racing, at the end, when like you are on a very nice board, racing board, like super tiny, like we have now in sup foil. I have my doggy here, and the board is like the board glide pretty well, and we went in any condition, and it was pretty fun actually. Yeah, I have to say, more fun than running.
That's for
Yeah.
sure. That's for sure. I have
It's
a
an easy
few
win.
questions because we're already in podcast number 38. If you've missed it or thought that you missed the beginning, no, we're all in already. So
Yeah.
maybe you can
Hello,
just.
guys.
We're here with Olivia Piana. If you haven't realized, she's a French SUP racer, foil world champion, an Axis foils pro rider. She has her own surf school, and we were just talking about your SUP beginnings. And for me, I'm not a SUP-er. I'm not even sure how you call it, but I've seen some races. I've
Paddler.
seen these guys, paddlers, sorry, starting from the beach, running in the water. Is that usually how it happens? Or do you have like a starting line, like on windsurfing or sailing? How does that usually work? Is there a usual case?
In sup race, you mean?
Yeah.
It's like there is the distance race that you can start from the beach, and also the technical race. Actually, there is the distance race, technical race, and sprint. It depends on what federation organize, but if it's the surfing federation, they like to start from the beach because it's more fun. And then there is the canoe federation. Usually, the canoe federation, you don't start from the beach, you stay in the water and you do like the canoe serious stuff. No, but it's also depend on where you are. If like the more like the best stuff that we love to do is like to start from the beach, go in the waves, and then do your race in the waves. So you have like a combination of of wave, surf, flat, cross. Like it's super. Like you can be first, and then there is 10 people behind you that catch the wave and then go
Yeah.
with you at the buoy, and it's like we used to go to the US to the Dana Point, this kind of spot that offer like crazy condition for that. And at that time, like the Battle of the Paddle, Pacific Paddle Games, it was like huge events that was on the wave. So this is the fun part. And then you can be in Bilbao in Spain in a river, and you have no beach, and you start in the city with people on the
Oh,
like
nice.
next to you,
Okay.
and like it's and then still in this kind of river you have still some current, so you have some technical stuff, like more close you are from the shore, if you are
The
going
less
up
current you have,
current,
huh?
better it is. And it's not as easy as it looks, like foiling. Many people look foiling and they say, ah, it's so cool, like it looks like so chill. And then you have like a process, to get into that, like to get into like a level that you really enjoy and you can really express yourself.
Still on that journey. A question: if you have these buoys, and I just think about the races I saw the ones with the waves as well, but the buoys, because I come from sailing, I have a sailing background, and there are rules how to go around the buoys, who has right of way and whatnot. Does that exist with
No, 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 no,
supping
no.
as
In
well?
in in SUP racing, you go in the buoy, you punch the buoy, you go like 10 people crashing, and you just survive. And there is in
Nice. Okay.
California, especially like this races in the US, it was like no rules. In Hawaii as well, it was like, man, it's too complicated to have rules, so just be kind and don't like push like the other with your paddle or whatever. But the buoy, like the buoy, just for the buoy to stay where it is. But no, no, it was not much delicate with the buoy.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice.
I mean, like it doesn't change at the end. If you touch the buoy, it won't. It's not an advantage. And the thing is more like to, like it's more an endurance sport that you will win because of your strategy, of your that you know how to manage your efforts, and also your technique on the board, like that you don't fail in conditions that are pretty tricky at sometimes. Like when you are with many people in the bumps and that kind of condition. And the thing is, like, you have the fastest board as possible, and then the board is not stable at all. It's like super super small, like super
And it's
tiny.
completely
Mm.
different to like the sub paddlers that I know, where I look at some lakes and they're just chilling and like kind of like yoga, like just going
Inflatable
around and
stuff,
enjoy
yeah.
the nature.
No,
But
Yeah.
yeah,
that's a
for sure.
complete different sport, right?
Completely, yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, this is more, the good thing is it's super popular. And then for the industry, like the inflatable board were incredible because they use the image of SUP racing to sell, or to like, like brands like Starboard or Fanatic before Duotone, and like F1 as well, and it was pretty good for the industry, but for sure it was more chilling. And then I think it's a sport that was a bit like struggling to find himself in term of federation, because it's a leisure, it's not like a real sport for many people. And it's now,
Mm.
but it's like a niche, and it's an hybrid sport, that it's not canoe, it's not surfing, and for the surfer you are shit, and for the canoe you are too much fun. So it's like but I mean, for me it was an incredible opportunity. I met amazing people and traveled the world, and had support from sponsor. That's the thing, like when you are a woman, sometimes it's not the same condition as, and you need to find like the right people that want to support you and give you opportunity to do a career. So yeah, it was so nice surprising.
How did foiling change that whole thing? When did that start for you? And are you ever on a like paddleboard without foils anymore?
No, 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 no.
Yeah, that was my question.
I mean, I
You
have
ditched
still some
completely. You
boards, but
sold everything.
I mean, yeah, it's foiling changed completely like the life, you know. It's so good that I no, I can't go on a normal SUP racing board anymore. I just go on the foil, and
But how was the
even when
start? I mean,
it's
when you first saw that foil, you must have thought, well, that's not for me. I'm a SUP paddler. I'm not gonna do that. Or how was that
no,
for you?
I
Like
like
the foil beginning.
the thing is
You got
like
straight
when
into
I
it.
started foiling, it was in 2017 or 8, like 17, and it was really at that time that most of the people were thinking like, yeah, it's not so, it's weird, and all the surfer like were like, what the fuck is this? And for sure, you know, something new is something like uh. and um and then now I'm super curious, and I love all this crazy stuff. So anything that looks weird, I love it. and I
How was it the first
and
time on foil? Was that easier for you because you have that paddling background, or did you struggle the same way we did?
no, but first time was on behind a boat with a kite foil, going super
Okay.
fast and trying to know how this shit work. And we were like going like this, and it was not lifting because the foil was made for kite, and we didn't kite foil. And a friend of mine in Biarritz, in southwest of France, was starting to do like the first surf and sup foil boards. And first foil, well, I think it was the Go Foil Malico 200, like the very first foil, and it was like no, it was like going in the wave, doing the turtle, trying to catch a wave, and like trying forever, and just yeah, like doing it, and one day you fly and you're like, what? No, it was like for sure. I think more time, and I don't remember if the e-foil was existing at that time, but yeah, like today, if you can e-foil, it's so easy, you know, to start. Or I know that you, Gael, you start with pump foil.
Yeah, same as Matt. Yeah, which
Ah,
is
It's
yeah,
wing
you
probably
foiling
the
start
first,
with
no
worst.
pump
kite foiling
directly.
first.
Yeah, that's
I
I
true.
think
That's true.
because this is pretty tricky.
Nasty. Yeah, not that fun. Yeah, you look back and you say like, Jesus, I could have saved so much time if I would have gotten like a foil drive or an e-foil or a wing foil. So yeah, I learned the hard way, but it worked.
how was that for you then? When did you start like SUP foiling? Did you see that somewhere online, or was it your instinct to think like, all right, I'm gonna be able to come on foil with the paddle?
Sub sub foiling. I don't remember. I think it was Sky. Certainly, that was sub foiling on Instagram, or I think it was also the beginning of Instagram. Like I was on Instagram in 2016, so no, yeah, it was like a year or two. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty natural, but at the same time, like when you start sub foiling on the web, I still have my first sub board here at home. It's like a biscuit, you know. It's like I don't know in English, like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like a round shape, right?
square, like yeah, it's round, but it's like super square, and it's like
Yeah.
a little platform, you know. And and yeah, the thing is, I was already living in Portugal, so where I live now since a few years. And this spot, like with a river mouth, it's incredible for like surfing in canoe and sup and longboard and foil. And this wave helped me so much to learn, actually, and it's super long. It's like 300 meters and soft.
Nice.
And then I spent my day there, and at the end I was like flying and just like freaking out.
That is so
And
nice.
it was like also with the gear that like improve, and this help as well.
So can you tell us where that is? Because like maybe someone is going to book some vacation and wants to find a good spot
Yes,
to.
it's Vila Nova de Mil Fontes in southwest of Portugal. It's 2 hours from Lisbon and from Faro. It's the main two, like the two big city when you can land with the plane and rent a car and come to Vila Nova de Mil Fontes. And yeah, there is a beautiful river that it's super nice for SUP and for canoe. So that's why also I was living here to train for SUP racing. It was super easy to be like on flat and on the ocean depending on the condition. And you have to come and visit, guys.
Oh,
How
100%.
important is the
This
place?
summer, like
Because
summertime is the best.
all right, good. Also for waves then,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
just for. All right, good.
Especially for waves and for surf, yeah. For
Because
foil,
I'm
for
in
surf,
Switzerland
for
here.
everything.
The only place where I can really try to paddle, or I tried to paddle because I kind of stopped, was at Lake Neuchâtel. I don't know if you've seen like Nils Mango or Jonas Hiller doing these downwinders on the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only place
In what
I can
lake?
go.
Sorry, in the lake the
In Lake
lake
Neuchâtel.
Neuchâtel. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because the shuttle situation is amazing. You can go on the train. And last
Uh-huh.
time I went, we were like 7 people in wetsuits with our big boards and foils next to
Uh-huh.
people in suits going to work, which was kind of nice. But yeah, the thing is, it's not always windy when we have time off. So the place to start is probably important. What else is important? I mean, the board, the foil, the paddle, maybe as well. Can you maybe give us some, or me, some help? Because, as I said, I kind of stopped because the pairwing is so much easier. But
You
I
do, yeah.
still,
You parawing already.
well, I used it. And the last time I just told Gail before, the last time I went out, I said, no, I want to learn that paddle. And I had the paddle strapped on my back. I went out with the pairwing, super easy on foil in the middle of the lake. Then I packed away my pairwing. I tried to paddle 5 times. I was super exhausted. So I just put the paddle back, put the pairwing back on, and I was on foil and just flying. It's just, it is appealing because it looks amazing. Like SUP foiling looks amazing. It's like the gold standard, I think. But it's so much more difficult than anything else.
Yeah, for
What
sure. And
should one consider when getting into that sport properly?
the thing is like the progression at the beginning, you have to accept that it's way more easy to go like because you want to favor like to take off at the very beginning, so you can go with a big foil that normally you won't use, because if you parawing, you take a smaller foil and it's much more easy, much more fun, and you can carve more and you can like go better on the bumps. But really, like when you want to take off and work on your paddle up, go with a foil that is a bit more big, then you give you more chance on that side. And what I saw on my camp that I give here in Portugal, like because actually I learn a lot with the students, and naturally, like many people are putting the foil on the front, like the mast on the front, because you think my mast is on the front, and I will lift more, and it will be easier
Fly.
to fly. And if you have a big foil, I don't know if you have a big foil or not, but most of like what I saw,
From
and
palm
it was
foiling, yeah.
pretty nice, that the foil is so big that it lifts too much, and then you paddle, and then it's like breaking your speed because it's go like up, up, and then down, and then when you put your mast a bit more on the back, it gives more glide to the board, and then you take off a bit later.
Mhm.
Like the position on the mast, depending on what foil you use, is pretty important. And then use your legs a lot more than the arms. It's like on the legs, on the hips. Like one tip that give me Jeremy Rigg in Maui, the guy that really like is into the flat water pop up in the harbor of Maui. He told me like when you do your catch, just send your hips to your shaft, like put your hips to the front, because like most of the time you want to bend your knee and like and then like pump like up down, but actually like you can imagine that you have your feet on a rail of a train and that your feet go forward, you know, like that instead
Like
of going
sliding.
Yeah.
horizontal, like you slide on
Okay.
the
Oh wow.
vertical, you slide on the horizontal.
Okay. Oh
And then
okay.
like when you put your paddle on the water, like you want like your feet and your hips to go in front instead of going down.
Up.
And
Okay.
this little detail helped me to take off my small foil. I didn't do it on the M2O, but anyway, I did it on once in the flat water. And I still won the M2O that year, but it was a special M2O finishing on the flat and paddling and like the 2023 edition. But yeah, sometimes it's this little detail, and also it's so much commitment. I remember when I start like at the very beginning, you don't really know what will happen, you know. So I mean, now with the power wing, you know how to downwind, so you have an idea of what you're gonna do, how you're gonna positionate yourself on the bumps. But yeah, it's like a lot of effort. Then you're like,
Well,
why
I'm not
should I
I'm
put
not
this
really a
effort if I
parawinger,
don't even
just
know
to
what
be
to
clear. I did it a couple of times now, and like my longest flight was I think a little over a minute, like 90 seconds or something. So I'm really not that good, but
Okay.
I'm an average foiler, I would say. But that helps a lot. Okay, like the sliding forward.
So you said
Right.
like almost imagining that you are on a skateboard rather than on a foil, so that's you kind of pull like the paddle towards your hips, almost like, or your hips towards the paddle,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Good. Gonna
What
try
else?
that. Yes. How important is the
And
paddle, for example?
then yes, it's you have to have your paddle like pretty straight, so your upper hand on the top of your lower hand give you
Okay.
more power.
Mhm.
And paddling forward. Paddling forward is so important because usually we think we paddle forward, but you have to paddle like when you paddle more strong. It's normal that your stroke is more short, and to try to paddle more forward, you need to relax during your movements to like send really your lower hand on your shaft like more on the front. And what the Tahitian paddlers do, they grab the shaft with the lower hand with just the top of the fingers, because when you're gonna paddle you're gonna as well push on your upper hand, and then you create a pressure with in your lower hand that allows you to, instead of catching your paddle like this, you just catch it like with the top, like dancing like rock or salsa, you know. You grab
Ah,
the hand of the other person, like, you know.
nice.
And you have pretty much you have enough let's say power or grab to
Great.
to do what like your padding movement. And
You said dancing. I was thinking bow hunting, but yeah, dancing it looks a little better.
what?
And I was thinking bow hunting. You like you take the paddle like if you are hunting with a
Yeah,
bow.
yeah,
But yeah.
also, yeah.
All right. All right.
And then this help a lot to relax, you know, because when you're like grabbing your paddle like this, you're like more this, and then your stroke is more short.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Like before dog starting, you just let the board sit in your palms, on your palms, rather than squeezing the board. That helps a lot. So that makes a lot of sense. Awesome. And then, of course, the board is the longer the better.
Is the longer the better?
I think now we are on the like fashion time of the longboard, and it's nice for ocean and the round swell. But I also think that in short swell and backwash condition, or you know, like short wind swell, like in your lake, for example, there is a balance between around 7, 5, 8. I think it's interesting. And then longer also depend on the weight of the person and on the but yeah, to answer this question, I think the balance is between 7, 5, 7, 8, 8. But then longer, I think it's for ocean condition and really like long swell. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, so that's perfect. I have a 7.6 and like
Perfect. So it's not the gear, it's you.
112 liter. Yes, you know, Jonas like popped it up in a flat, and I was like, all right, no excuses there. And of course, he's pretty good. How important? Because I had a 85 centimeter mast, and everyone said, no, go shorter because less drag. Is that so important?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, for
shit.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to buy another master, 75 or even 80. I would say, because yeah,
Really?
and then if you are a machine, you will take off the 85. You know, Clément Colmas,
Yeah, I'm
the
not.
French guy, he go with the 90 mast, and he like there is no rules. These guys are not human, but you see a difference between 75, 80. It's a good size for SUP.
All right, good. So I have the 75 that I usually use for pumping, so I can use
Yeah.
that as well.
Mhm.
My board is 20 inches wide. Is that too wide?
No, it's good.
Good. No excuses there.
You don't
Then
no, you don't
let's.
need to buy another board.
No, I won't. I won't. But maybe the question then is, all right, so the gear is not the problem. I even have a like kind of light carbon paddle. How long should it be? Is that like nose height or how high?
I use plus 2 centimeters. That's my size.
Okay.
So yeah, just oh, I think that I think also this there is no rules. You know, it's really personal and your kind of paddling. But in sup racing, for example, we use like or sup surfing, we use like your size or just a bit less, just a bit more. Yeah, depend on your kind of paddling.
So, all right, gear is not a problem then. The problem might be that I have, well, last time I was with the paddle was a long time ago, but usually I have like maybe 3, 4 weeks until I have the next possibility to go paddle. And that's, I think, one of the big problems. Is there anything I could do like on shore? And you do these camps, and we're going to go into that right away. Do you tell people who come to your camps, all right, 3 weeks before you come, you need to do this and this and this, so you have a chance? Or are you gonna
Yeah, for
tell people, all
sure.
right,
I
come,
tell
we'll see
them
what
to do
happens?
like the roller, to do like this, like.
Ah, with the, okay,
No,
all right. Nothing,
I
no?
tell them to do squats and what the name, the ski, like the skating. Do a lot of skating, in the snow, like this, the skating in
Yeah, yeah,
Switzerland.
like
Yeah.
This
cross
is
country
the sport
skiing.
that just kill you.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, of course, like any physical training is good, and but then you do what you can with the time that you have, and I think it's just good to do what you love, and that's it. Not too
Okay,
much
but no
party,
specific
not too much
training
alcohol.
for paddling.
Help.
Yeah.
And do you do any cross training for your races besides being in the water pretty much every day? I don't know how many hours.
I love to run in the near the beach. I love to bike as well, mountain bike, and I surf like normal surf, like not being in the water. So this surf, it's in the water. um, and at the moment that's it. But I would need to do some gym. Yeah, well, like for the preparation, like the gym help so much.
Yeah.
Like some like with your weight or with like the fitness, with
Yeah,
the
CrossFit
machine.
type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
not doing that.
we
But
we chatted.
I prefer to go in the waves actually.
Yeah, that I can imagine. We chatted for half an hour about foiling, but do you mind if we get into Olivia's life? Like, when did you get into water sports?
I get pretty young because my family like love the water as well. My mom and my dad. My mom love windsurfing, So she teach me how to windsurf when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and then I loved it, and I wanted more, and I was super lucky to be like to have access to this sport pretty young, and windsurf, wake, swimming, and with like not any pressure, because like sometimes some parents they can like put too much pressure on the kids, and then like you have not so much fun, you know.
Yeah, it's screwed up.
But yeah, it was like I was super lucky on that side, and a lot of support also from my mom, you know, because she always wanted to do more competition, but she couldn't because her life didn't allow it with the studies and all the stuff. So she always told me like just go for it, and so she came with me on the competition of windsurfing. I did some slalom and a bit of waves, and yeah, then a bit of kites and a lot of sup,
Yeah.
a lot of sup and a lot of travels. And yeah, since I
And
was
when
kid, actually, I had the poster of Ibaya Moreno, the windsurfer, and Daida Moreno. You know, like I don't know if you know, they are twins and they are world champion of windsurf waves. And they were my inspiration to. I was thinking, I want to be like these girls. You know, I want to be champion of windsurfing.
And now you kind of are, really.
And now Ibaya is my friend. She's 40, I don't know. And we compete in sub downwind together, and it's so fun.
That is so nice. So speaking of competitions, you were in Mataró like a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
How was that for you?
It was nice. I think it's so nice to do this kind of event in Europe, and we need more. And the wind was pretty like not so strong, but enough to have some bump. It was not easy to choose the right foil, so I went with a foil that was too small, because you know, like the dynamic of the event, everybody wants to go fast and take the
Sure,
smallest
sure.
foil as possible, and then you are on the race and you're like, man, it's like no sense, I'm just dying and I don't. So I take off pretty late, and when you don't take off right on the right moment, the 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 people of the race just go, and it's super hard to take people after that. But yeah, it was a good experience anyway. The thing is, you are learning at like every race. Last time in Crozon, it was me that did the right choice to take a huge foil, and all the guys take the small foil, and we're like, oops, we are already on the flag. We would need like a a huge foil. But yeah, you know, it's not. It's also about of your a lot about what you choose in terms of gear. And this is pretty like it's always pretty new, you know. To you are not in like it's not easy to know about the condition when you are on the beach. And yeah, good vibes. Like it's for sure we are excited to like have more and more women in this kind of event, because for now there is mostly just guys. But like I think, yeah, this time will come, and we will have more like girls for the competition, and we will find like in sup racing, actually at the beginning it was more like less women, and then with the time and the images and the effort of the organizer, the sport improved.
Why do you think that is?
That there is less women,
Yeah,
it's because of the society that is like that is designed and made for men since like many years. And because foil are expensive, and women have less time and more work and less money, so more difficult to afford a foil yourself. And it's also because like people that foil, we are like 25, 30, 40, 50 years old, and at that age women has men, like if you are hetero woman, you can have kids. And most of the time still in the society, it's like more normal for the woman to take care of the kids than the dad, you know. It's like a balance that we are trying to find. But like I'm lesbian, so I can't say anything, you know. But like hetero people are trying to find. No, but and then yeah, and it's also in the any thought that we need to do, it's like to create more images, more video, more pictures, and at the very very beginning of the sport, it's what it is. There is a guys and group of friends and men's together, and then when you have more women, you have more women and more group of women because you have more images, and it's like you do this sport because your friends are doing it, and because you
Yeah.
discover it because it's like a community thing. So yeah, I think it just takes time, and we need to be conscious that at the moment there are some effort to do and to go in the right direction. And there is also the last stuff that we like that we talk a lot in the winging, because the winging, it was the same as the beginning, and now it's more starting to be like to have much more women on the tour and everything. Is the industry is there is a lot of men naturally as well, and then it's more in this dynamic. It's more difficult when you have so much men to find some women and to give opportunity in terms of sponsorship, to trust the people and to give the gear and to like pay the travel expense, and to considerate a woman as you would considerate a guy. And it's a lot of things together, but
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Like it starts from the companies, and without the companies, there are no idols, images, and therefore there are less women that are getting into it. Besides the other things that you mentioned. So, first off, for every foil company listening to the podcast, discount for women, and they get women riders. All right.
yeah, for sure, that's what we try to do with Axis actually. All the time
Yeah.
I say, like, it's just a reminder and to be conscious and to say, okay, let's see if we can help and have more women in the team, and then have a balance between like step by step and months after months, year after years, to make the change. But and also, like, when you come from, for example, from surfing, it's becoming a bit better. But if you come from kite, it's completely normal to have not much women, on the event, and windsurf even more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's about, we are made of habits. And me coming coming from SUP racing, there is so many women that I arrive in SUP foiling, and I'm like, what? Or winging, but
Where
where
is
are the
everyone?
girls? you know,
Because that
what
was
is
really
going on
something
here?
I was thinking about that as well. I was seeing like in the pump foiling scene, because yeah, in Switzerland not a lot of else to do, and a lot of viewers of my videos, like 95% are men or boys. Uh, but I see it in my family. My wife, I'm not sure if I should start. It looks silly and stupid. I said, yeah, but it's so great, but it will take so much time. So it's really difficult. And then we talked to the guys from Foiling Magazine, and there's a super nice article like this here. I don't know if
hmm
you've seen it, like from Armstrong, and
the
they
with
have
the
like a
with the
group of
Armstrong girls,
women.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's really cool. So I thought, like, all right, maybe there's something we can do, like with our podcast, just have more women on to talk. So thank you very much, Olivia, for talking with
Thanks to
us. So
you.
that's really cool.
hmm
Is there anything else that we as men can do? Should we like hand our gear more or encourage women more to try? I mean, trying to dockstar is not really appealing because if you do it the first couple of times, you're not hooked usually because you're just swimming around.
I think it's just first to be conscious. First is like when you have a problem, let's say any problem, is good to take it in consideration, and going on the positive, like do something that is positive for you, like, because if we start to say, yeah, you guys, and you, the thing with the Oahu races, when on Instagram, I'm saying this is happening, it's not against any guys, or it's like something that is happening because it's the habits, and it's not that guy that organized that do it, it's just someone do it because it's normal there.
Yeah.
It's not so. the first thing is not to, and then, one day I will see the guy and I will say, man, it's not nothing against you, because the guy were like, oh, it's not me, it's no, nothing like this, It's like, first, I think is not to feel like not any guilty or anything, but to be conscious that there is this thing in the society that we need to improve and to make some change, and it's like some little details. Actually, it's not about big things. It's about like the very simple thing in your daily life that can make the difference. Like me as a woman, many times we organize test events for the Axis gear. I'm the manager of Europe, so I'm the, let's say, chef, but I don't like be like this. I'm not under domination. And many times, like, the guy arrive on the events, maybe they don't know me because they don't, like, just start foiling and I don't know who I am. And because I'm a woman, the guy just go to the boys to ask for the gear. And maybe I know a lot also about the gear, and just like not judging the people because of their gender, but because they are just
Sure.
people and they are capable. Just only this, it's a lot, because you consider the people differently. And this can be like because of the, with the minorities, we are always like, it's easy to judge the people for their gender, of their color, of their like. The dog is not agree. Or maybe
So you said that you
agree.
do you do a
Don't know.
lot you do a lot with Axis for that area already. What do you do actually with Axis for more women in sports?
Just being nice.
Nice. Oh, that's
No,
so
but
cool. It's
Posting picture.
no, but the thing is like like we have, for example, riders like Ibaya Moreno, Alba Frey, me. We have Aline from Switzerland. We try, to give gear and support to more women that we see, like that they have the motivation to be part of the team, and they want to train and they want to compete and travel. And it's like it's actually this, because if we start to think, okay, there are women, they are like, we can use them just for their physical aspect, or like it was the case for surfing before, or some sport like this. It doesn't make much sense for the sports. But I would say, yeah, just to like, on the very simple stuff, just be conscious and change a bit the attitude, and make sure that the people feel comfortable, and being aware when the people don't feel comfortable, because I would say the society of the machism, that is based on the domination, that is the domination of the women, of the animals, of between men as well. I think it's not that nice. It's it doesn't make any, like, the people are not feeling comfortable with that, you know. And I think when one woman or anybody don't feel comfortable, it doesn't encourage you to practice a sport.
all
And
right.
yeah, let's create more images of women. So we are organizing this weekend in Portugal. I organize with like a team of friends the Altamen Festival. It's a festival for women to try water sports, to go in the water, to party, and to, yeah, try to make a little change on our
That is
local
so
spots.
cool. People can check that out on Instagram, right? Altamente Festival.
Yeah, Altamen Festival. This
Perfect.
week we're gonna
Perfect.
communicate
It's
a
probably
lot.
gonna be too late when the post is gonna be out, but I guess there's gonna be more.
Yeah, for sure. Next year again. Yeah,
All right, and
2026. We're coming to this.
people can at least see pictures of it and book their next vacation. I want to get
Hmm.
more into like your job and you what kind of job you actually have in a minute, and also like your classes, the camps that you do. And just before that, I want to remind people who are listening, enjoying the podcast, if you like it, if you're watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe. If not, if you're listening to it, maybe leave a comment on Apple Podcast, exactly like the doggy does. And yeah, maybe also on a Patreon. We have a Patreon page where you can support us. You find all the information on uponfoil.com. But let's get into that. And I want to ask, because I'm a teacher, I have my steady job, I have some vacation, but your life looks wild because you said you're European manager, you're doing a lot of races and these camps. How is that organized? Like, how does a yearly plan of Olivia look like?
Wow, it's first it depends on the condition, and it was always clear with Axis. I told them I can work for you, but I still go in the water. I can do a lot of computer and calls and everything, but my life is depending on the wind and the waves and it's like, and like also depend on the season, of course, because in winter like it's more time inside and more like office work, and then when comes the season it's more like traveling and the test event, demo day, training for the M2O and event. I have the dog that wants to go walk, sorry. And at the same time I'm gonna go take my charger, guys, because I have not much battery. But yeah, I mean it's an organization that is pretty flexible, let's say, and anyway, it's a job that I love to do, so I don't count my hours so much, and everything is pretty complementary. That when I'm teaching, like, oh, sorry, my dogs are here. When I'm like teaching with the school, it's also super interesting with for the people to try the gear, and we create content for social media and yeah, it's a mix of a lot of stuff, but it's
So yeah, you can
something that
do a
I
lot,
really
huh?
love to do.
Very nice. Your camps and classes, I saw, or if I recall correctly, you've been at the Lake Garda, and Gwen was there as well, who we had
Yeah.
on the podcast already. And
Mm-hmm.
how can people find where the next camp's going to be? Where can they sign up, maybe?
So the next camp for now it's on Instagram on Piana Foiling. I have an Instagram page, and I'm gonna have a site soon, pianafoiling.com. And yeah, it's something that I really love to do, so I want to do more and propose more opportunity like this and quality stuff. I really love this kind of moment, and like to see people happy on the water and catching bumps and being like what, and something that like it's not about the performance, it's about like just yeah, being part of this kind of this improvement in the sport and in the life of the people. So it's super nice. But I think you know what I mean because you're also a teacher, but like, you teach foil as well, or?
No, I teach kids who don't want to learn, but that's that's different. But when I look at that page, I see some people with the paddle in their hand, but also foil drive. How does that work? Because now, as I've used foil drive, it's even harder to get into that paddling. Um, do you have camps where you can just like learn to ride the waves on foil or even dock start, or is it specifically for paddling, or how does that work?
I have camp for SUP-Foil beginners. Then I have camp for SUP-Foil advanced for people that know how to fly 1 kilometer in a row, like for like to be able to do like in downwinds and more easily. To have like a level that is more like to not mix beginner and advanced riders. And then I start the foil assist camp, the foil drive camps that are open, like because like the foil drive is pretty new, so the level of the people that join the camp it's like pretty starting, but like flying already and surfing, downwinding, and in foil drive it's super easy to teach because you have the motor, so you can stop like anytime and meet easily. On the SUP is more tricky because when you fly, then you just go, and the one
You
that
don't
don't
want to
take
wait
off,
for the
it
others.
don't go. So, so yeah, but the camp is like a super nice vibe. For now, I do only 2 days and a half, because people are like also because I don't have a lot of time, and it's a format that works pretty well for on the long weekend, and it's so nice.
And when is the next one gonna be?
Next one is beginning of June. It's 6, 8, and 9, if I remember well, and it's for the advanced SUP-Foiler. So it will be the first camp on sub downwind that we're gonna really go on downwinding with people that know how to fly already, and do some 12-kilometer run and along the Portuguese coast, and yeah, on the
Good.
with the boat and the yeah.
Fantastic. And are you gonna be this year as well at the Falling Week in Lake Garda, or you're gonna be in Hawaii?
Unfortunately, foiling week I can't go because I have a family meeting, and but I would love to go. And I go to Hawaii on July 3rd to 21st for the 4 races: the Voyager, Pal de Limua, M2M, and M2O.
Wow, are you excited?
Yeah, big months. Yeah, I'm so now I'm training a lot because I want to be like feel good there and push with the girls, the Hawaiian girls, and have a lot of fun with the crew there.
How much gear do you bring?
Gear, I bring one SUP. I'm gonna receive new foils, the new Axis race foil, so I'm excited to see how it goes. And yeah, I take actually as much gear as I can, but we are limited with the weight. So I have my technique to instead of 23 kilos, sometimes you can take 30, like take the gear off the bag and then in the bag at the last minute when
Help
you
Yeah.
it
go
a
to
little
the
bit, yeah.
this kind of stuff, that you can a bit arrange. And I want to serve prawn as well then, so I think I take also my prawn board, or maybe Axis bring some gear as well. I will see with them, see I can borrow. But yeah, Hawaii is incredible, and also the
Are you
people
gonna meet
there.
Annie Reichert as well?
Hmm?
Are you gonna
Annie?
meet Annie Reichert?
Yeah. Annie, I didn't see her since 2 years because she stayed home and I didn't went to Hawaii last year. And Gabi, Fiona White, she's not here, I think, this year, but she's a very strong athlete. I hope she can join in the next edition. And then Rachel from Oahu, and all the guys. All the guys.
Because we had Annie on our show, like episode 35. If any of our listeners missed that one, go check it out. Really
Oh,
cool how
yeah?
she talks about
Nice.
foiling and surfing as well, and her incredible board art. So nice.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's so cool what she does.
really nice. So
Yeah.
actually, Kyle, when I look at my list, I'm pretty much through. Do you have anything else you want to ask Olivia?
I'm fine, unless she has something to add.
No, thank you guys. I mean, super nice time with you.
Maybe something
Thank
you
you
want to
too.
tell the people who, like me, kind of stop paddling because of all the other toys that help so much to keep on going?
Yeah, you don't have to stop. It's so good. It's like the best drug ever. And you are
All
almost
right.
there. You're almost there, Matt. It's like a few stations and you will take off and you will be okay. The powering is just some time because I'm too tired. Now it's
Yeah.
like it's really worth it. And go in the right condition with the right gear you already have. Maybe the right coach, people that can motivate you, film you, give you feedbacks, and yeah, just keep paddling, just keep trying, and go in the
All
waves
right.
as well. Go in the waves sometime if you can.
Yeah, if I
Like
can. That's really the problem. But I
come in
remember
Portugal here this summer, and we go
this
together.
summer is already full, but maybe next year, maybe also a visit to Onyx Foils, also
Yeah,
a
Tarifa.
podcast we
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
That would be really cool. But I
Mm.
remember every time I did this little run, because it's a run, the other guys, it takes 20 minutes for them. And for me, it's like 1.5 hours of pain, of struggle. But every time there was a little moment, sometimes I even was on foil and kind of surfing the wave, but sometimes I wasn't. And I just like, in the last maybe 100 meters, I got on foil a little bit and I was like, all right, it is possible. And that like keeps me going a little bit. So keeping that momentum somehow going. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go back to paddling.
No,
Yeah,
it's really a sport that you learn a lot to be good with yourself and
it's
don't
humiliating.
judge and just let it go. And it's what it is. It's like one of the hardest thing to do, and it takes time.
All right,
Like you imagine,
good.
like the first time I did my run here of 28K, I did in SUP racing. I used to do like 1 hour, two hours downwinding, and in my first SUP foil attempt, I did 3 hour and a half, and now I do 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Nice,
So and I
nice.
was like not, and also of course there is like the big container boats going and passing, and you're like freaking out on the little board, like I'm super slow, I'm 5 kilometers the hour. No, like it's like this kind of moment is to not only to yourself, it's to everybody, I think. And
Would you do some? You did a super long. We didn't even talk about that. You did a super long downwinder in Portugal, right? Would
yeah,
you do something like I don't remember his name? He went to from south of France to Corse to Corsica where he crossed
this
the.
was Erwan that did it, the French guy. I
Would
did
that be something you would want to do as well?
Actually, I wanted to do it, but this because I don't live in France anymore.
Yeah,
I did it in Portugal along the coast, but this stuff to go from the like to cross such a long distance, it's still another logistic, because along the coast I had like my plane A, B, C, D. I can stop
yeah,
there, and it's pretty chill, like I'm not in the middle of the ocean. And
yeah.
also luckily I didn't do, because in my crossing my boat didn't take enough gas. So if I
Oh,
don't have enough gas between the two, in the like it's not a good situation.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an amazing project. It's like moments that are like in a once in a lifetime.
Does it
Yeah.
never get boring?
No, but I mean it could be, and of course in this kind of challenge, I think it's I in my position, I really love to associate a cause that count for yourself. So you don't do it only for yourself. You do it because of you want to give a visibility or fund to something, and then you realize something that makes sense, like beyond the performance. And in my case it was like in Portugal the coast is being destroyed by a big company that is luxury tourism and agriculture and solar panel, and easy, to go in a poor country and destroy everything, like all the natural heritage. And um, and then yeah, I help association to like we raise fund, and it was when I was like in the hard moment, I was like, yeah, let's go, because you do it for people that are
Nice.
fighting much
Oh,
more
so
than
cool.
this. And you have as well same on the long races like triathlon or this kind of experience. You have the moment that you are in the like trance, that you don't feel inside your body, like your mind is a bit like floating, and you don't feel the
Yeah.
effort anymore, because you are like such in a good moment and such in a
Just
good
flying.
vibe. And on the foil, so flying on the foil, and in the middle of the ocean, we went on that crossing, we went 50K uh
Wow.
out like from the shore, so you don't see the coast anymore. And it was I was thinking, wow, I'm so lucky to be out there, and having my friends around me and this assistant, this support. It's so good, but not doing it because you want, for your ego. Do
Yeah,
it because with your heart and for with love. This in my case, it's what works the best. Mm.
perfect. Perfect.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you very
So
much,
do it with
Olivia.
love. When you go in Lake Neuchâtel, you go with love and you give it all.
All right.
You don't wanna break the paddles.
Yeah, I maybe I should never bring the paddle and the paddling because it's just too easy switch. I should just like leave it at home. and do that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Olivia, for coming on the
Thank you,
show. Really,
guys.
it was
Thanks.
super. It was a pleasure. All that's left for me is to tell the listeners and the viewers who the next episode is going to be with, and it's going to be like a two-parter. It's going to be with Josh Kuhn, will be the next one, and then we're going to talk to the guys of Code Foils because they came to Switzerland for a demo weekend. And I met them. I pumped their foils. It was pretty cool. So looking forward
So nice.
to talking to them as well a little more. They did their first stock starts actually, and it was interesting because they're super good foilers, and it was interesting to see how they struggle at first, but like after a couple of attempts, they got it, and of course they know how to foil, and that was so cool to see.
So nice. Yeah, the Australian and the Swiss dog.
Yeah, it was really cool. And Jonas even like put up this fondue pot, and we had some cheese, and it was really cool. Like having a fondue
So
pot,
nice.
eating fondue in the wetsuit. That was it was something special. Yeah.
So good, and your cheese is so good. In Switzerland is the best, and the chocolate.
Yeah, if ever you come to Switzerland to like downwind on Lake Neuchâtel,
I would love to.
yeah, hit us up. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Awesome.
Let
It
you
would be
know when
super
I
cool.
come, but yeah, never been there actually. I went to Geneva, but never to Neuchâtel.
All right, very nice. Thank you very much, Olivia. All the listeners, all the viewers, you know where you can find us, and see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.